Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Petersen and today I'll be discussing the supply chain and logistics of consumer electronics companies using Sony as an example to highlight the benefits of such systems. Sony sells consumer electronics of differing varieties globally and is well renowned for their strong supply chain and logistics network. Like other consumer electronics businesses, Sony must often handle high value items and source large quantities of raw materials and faces many of the same challenges as other tech firms in securing their supply chain, reducing expenses and engaging in healthy corporate social responsibility practices. The business provides a general overview of their supply chain, which breaks the supply chain into 5 key components. This structure largely represents a vertically integrated supply chain where Sony controls resource procurement from suppliers, manufacturing, and retail distribution. However, the Sony supply chain is much more sophisticated than it seems on the surface. Consumer electronics is a rapidly growing and in-demand industry, and firms need to be able to use technology to process large amounts of data from various parts of the supply chain to streamline processes and provide important managerial insights. Enterprise systems, transaction systems, and management information systems can be used to achieve these goals. In Sony's case, suppliers are required to demonstrate a competency in digitalization in line with their goal of enabling the rapid exchange of large volumes of information to streamline their transactions. Sony owns an in-house logistics subsidiary known as the Sony Supply Chain Solutions, which is responsible for managing all logistics in the supply chain, including procurement of components from more than 800 different suppliers to support manufacturing operations at more than 50 different plants and the distribution of goods to the end retailers. A large focus of Sony in recent times has been improving the efficiency of and reducing the energy consumption of their transportation logistics network. Where possible, Sony has aimed to switch transport modes from air to sea freight and from using trucks to using rails, where possible. Although Sony is quite transparent as part of their corporate social responsibility guidelines, such changes to their supply chain distribution network demonstrate how consumer electronics brands are modifying their transport logistics to operations to improve efficiency and reduce costs. In Sony's case, they have sought to further reduce transport costs by engaging in joint delivery operations and modifying their shipping boxes to ensure extra space isn't being wasted, increasing the product shipment rate and improving transport cost efficiency. Inventory management is also an important component of the supply chain, as not having access to the necessary resources at each stage of the supply chain can reduce productive manufacturing output, delay shipments, and ultimately impair on the end consumer experience. In Sony's case, internal controls are in place requiring inventory managers to regularly update the data in a centralized inventory management system to ensure supply orders can be placed as required. Products are tracked according to their SKU to ensure Sony can rapidly and automatically differentiate between similar products. RFID technology is also used to track the flow of inventory and help mitigate risk against theft, and Sony's supplier expectations dictate that they expect Tier 1 suppliers to be able to provide a stable supply of goods to ensure increases in demand can be matched and components needed for customers can be efficiently supplied as part of their competitive advantage. Like other consumer technology businesses, Sony faces risk and challenges throughout the entire supply chain. One such challenge is supplier transparency, political risk, and ensuring that the goods produced could meet the legislative requirements of different countries. Sony faced this exact issue in 2001 when 1.3 million PlayStation consoles were seized by Dutch officials after it was found that the consoles violated the European Union guidelines restricting the imports of goods consisting of more than 0.01% cadmium. This resulted in Sony spending 18 months investigating 6,000 supply factories to identify where this issue occurred. As a direct result of this, Sony implemented their supplier code of conduct and implemented additional controls like a business scorecard to evaluate suppliers and guarantee efficiency and transparency. Sony is not the first consumer electronics company to face an issue like this, and other tech companies have adopted similar programs to ensure any supply chain weaknesses can be proactively identified and handled. Naturally, electronics firms face environmental risk in how they dispose of goods, procure resources, and transport goods. Not being environmentally conscious can hurt their brand reputation, damage supplier relations, and increase disposal and procurement costs in the long run. This is why Sony has followed their Road to Zero program designed to achieve zero environmental footprint in their product lifecycle and maintain their corporate social responsibility commitments, and is why many consumer electronics firms follow similar practices. Lastly, in consumer electronics, often companies are manufacturing and shipping high-value goods where theft is a significant risk. Sony's head of logistics in Europe, Michael Ainer, has previously discussed how investing in risk management ultimately reduces the company's expenses by preventing theft throughout the supply chain, from protecting stock in warehouses to protecting goods while they're in transit in theft hotspots like Germany. Therefore, Sony uses RFID technology to track access to stock in their warehouses and follows transport security procedures required by the Transported Asset Protection Association, also known as TAPA, like many other consumer electronics companies. Thank you for listening.